Hi guys, Laura here with Puerto Riqueño, and today I am doing probably one of my most anticipated videos. Not that it's going to be super exciting or anything, but it is talking about my favorite smell and flavor in the kitchen. So I'm excited to share this with you, especially to my American friends who may not be familiar with the flavor and the smell of recao. I just love to be able to introduce you to this. I know I kind of get all excited with all of my, all the flavors that I'm growing, but in particular, Cuban oregano and the recao have a special place in my my cultural heart. So recao, R-E-C-A-O, aka CULantro, C-U-L-A-N-T-R-O, not C-I-L-A-N-T-R-O, is what we have here. When people leave the countries where this is easily found, they'll usually substitute this ingredient with cilantro, C-I-L-A-N-T-R-O. And it's really confusing because then this one's called CULantro, so I don't know what happened there, but I get corrected all the time. Oh, you mean cilantro? No, I mean CULantro. They're not related, or they don't really have a lot in common, except their amazing flavor. But I will tell you, this one's better. So sorry cilantro, but CULantro's gotcha. So all right, so let's just talk a little bit about raising this outside of tropical climates. Tip number one, grow it in a pot so that you can better control its little microclimate where it's at. If you feel like it's looking grumpy because there's too much sun on it, you can move it. In the winter, if it gets too cold, you can put it inside. As a matter of fact, this grows well inside as a house plant, so long as it's in the shade but near a sunny window. This plant always needs to be wet. Let me rephrase. These roots always need to be wet. A plant, a CULantro plant that is a little older can withstand drier soil, but as a young plant it really does need to be constantly wet. The best tip I can give you is to water it from the bottom. That way it's constantly, and always keep it watered down here with like a plate or one of those what you put under plants. I always forget the name of that. But what you put under plants to prevent water from coming out. So we actually want to keep water in with those. So keep it hydrated at all times as when it's young. When it's old, or older, meaning after it's matured, it's going to produce these flowers that are really confusing because they are like the same color as the plant, so they're hard to see. And so ironically, even though I told you as the plant gets older it's okay to keep it in drier soil, if you want these seeds to drop and to germinate, the soil really needs to be wet. So all in all, don't let your guard down and keep the soil as wet as possible so that you have a better harvest, good future generations of this plant. When you purchase this plant, purchase it so that you have it in groups. If they're selling it by itself like this, then purchase multiple of them. The reason why is because I want for you to keep one of them or a few of them as your to have seeds for later. So when these dry, you can kind of either just like sprinkle them off or take them into take this off into a plastic bag and just kind of try to separate the seeds off and save them, or let them germinate down here. And then you want to keep the other plants for harvest. These are younger, but you want to keep these for harvest. The minute you start to see these flowers emerge, that tells you that the plant is going to expire soon. So don't let your plant die on you without without being able to take the seeds, but also just kind of guarantee yourself that you have culinary supply by having plants that you don't allow to go to seed. So that's a really important thing to know about this plant, is that with most herbs, anytime they show you flowers, they're gonna go away. So, well, I say most, but this one in particular will do that. So always keep your extra recao plants to harvest from. Speaking of harvest, when you do harvest, you want to kind of just get it from above the soil line, because if it's too far down, then you can get soil in it and it can infect the plant if there's pathogens and stuff in there. So and also there's like competitions in the recao world about how long you can grow it and how thick you can grow it. It's kind of weird, but recao doesn't need to be super long to be super flavorful. So as a matter of fact, the best flavor that you're going to get is when it's about 6 to 8 inches long. So don't give in to this whole like you need really long recao leaves. What you don't want to do is harvest them too soon or too late, because it can change the flavor. Also, when these guys start coming out, the plant loses flavor as well. It doesn't go away completely, but it's just not as strong as it would be with a plant that doesn't have these, that has about 6 to 8 inches of growth. So always, if you want the plant for harvest for food, keep these cut. All right, so one actually interesting thing that I didn't mention to you about recao or CULantro is that Puerto Ricans aren't the only one that use it, even though we think we kind of, you know, this is almost definitive of our culture, the smell. When you smell this, you basically smell Puerto Rico. But actually this is used throughout Central America, throughout South America, and surprisingly to a lot of us, Asia. The Vietnamese actually have quite a lot of uses for this. In fact, they'll drink it in tea sometimes, is what I heard from one Vietnamese restaurant owner. But they will, if you eat pho, they'll a lot of times serve it with this if they have it available. So, and a lot of Puerto Ricans will actually go to Asian stores to find CULantro. In Vietnamese, I might butcher this, but I think it's like Nhong Gai. I don't know. If you're Vietnamese and just saw this, tell me how bad I butchered that name, but I think it's spelled N-G-O. I forgot. N-G-O-G-I-A, I think. But anyway, so it is something that we share with the rest of the world, even though that most Puerto Ricans want to claim, you know, it as theirs. But this is, I want to share it with everyone because the flavor is just amazing. It'll revolutionize your cooking. This and oregano brujo, I'm telling you right now, are just amazing. As a matter of fact, you can see when people visit me at the booth and they've never seen at the farmer's market and they've never smelled this before, this is the little sacrificial leaf. I have them tear off a piece and smell it. Some have even eaten it, but any type of interaction with this leaf makes people go insane. So if you are intrigued, kind of like with the oregano brujo, definitely you can come by the booth at the farmer's market and smell it and see if I'm exaggerating or not, but I think you're going to agree that I'm not. This is really incredibly good. It smells like cilantro, more potent, and has just like kind of a smidge of difference. So alright, if you have any questions about this plant, or if you have your own wisdom to share about growing this outside of the tropics, definitely comment down below. I will be making a video about the germination of recao, which is not easy. I took it upon myself to learn kind of the tricks of germination outside of the tropics. So I'll be making a video about that, and that is going to be super exciting to do because I just love conquering and proving myths wrong. So yes, you can grow CULantro outside of the tropics. It's hard, but it's doable. Alright, sounds good. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it, and come back to our channel for more videos on Caribbean gardening. Then one of the next few videos we're going to do is how to cultivate and harvest gandules, which are pigeon peas, another staple of Puerto Rican food, in your backyard.